Hello, everyone. When we're receiving a signal, what's happening here? MacBook Pro. There we go. That should fix it. And this should fix it. Still not receiving a signal from the mic. Can you guys hear me okay from the mic? Or welcome Simulation Talk 331 in any case. What up, Jackie? What up, Guru? Trump is Antichrist. All right. So there we go. Let's give him a chance. Thank you. I don't know why, but I'm actually not receiving a signal here. Is the sound really crisp and clear? It's not what it seems to me because I'm not getting any information back for some reason. Hold on. This is new. 111. 111. Yeah. Weird. Okay. Well, strange. I guess today we're going to be without the microphone. Very strange. What up, Sony? Nico, how are you, brother? Good to see you. This is strange. Максим Гриб. Как дела? You got the wolf character? Beautiful. The sound is not really coming through properly. We're not getting the Scarlet, which is really weird because it is connected. Let me see something here. And try one more. Because sound should be fine, honestly. Input should be this 111. 111. No. Okay. We're not gonna try and figure it out. We're just gonna run with it. Yeah, we're just gonna run with this. No headphones today, and no mic. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not working. But it is what it is for right now. I'll figure it out for later. How are you guys? My hair looks insane. Хорошо audio. Yeah, on TikTok, sure it is. But on YouTube, for some reason, the microphone is not working. That's Russian. I'm excited for you and Nick Sherman gaining more and more awareness. Having you doc on pause right now. Awesome, Andrew. Awesome. What doc? Guru, how are you, brother? Thank you so much for notifying everybody. Let's first of all put our website here. That is so bizarre that it does this sometimes. Maybe it's some kind of a glitch in StreamYard, but it's okay. Not the end of the world. Beautiful. And if you guys want to help our Twitch account, it's LaserX83 on Twitch. Everything is always kosher on TikTok except from censorship. Yes, I would agree with that. I had an experience I would like your opinion on. Went through a fourth of a fairly weak card. Long story short, I woke up from what looked like a VR set sitting on a infinitely long bench with others. Sounds intense. What would you like? What would you like me to comment on this? Yes, радостью поболтаю. Class. You can come actually on Discord. I'm going to start the stage there now. And you can come join there. Let's do it. Beautiful. The stage is now officially open. What up, Vandalin? Is already waiting. Let me grab one thing. I really don't understand what's going on here. It kind of bothers me. Is the mic not connected? When something doesn't work for no reason, it really gets to you, you know? Oh well. Oh well. What's up, Danny? Good to see you tonight. Good to see you again, Brutality. GM Brutality. Alona. Feels like it seems like there's a lot of Russians today. Also, I feel naked. Okay, so let's see what we got. We're just saying Jorg. How are you guys? If anybody wants to bring up a subject or chat about something, make sure you raise your hand and I'll bring you up to chat. Someone sent me Russia, viral in Russia recently. My country has found me. Is this something you know, or this is something you're postulating? Pretty sure that Russians were all over this for a while now. AI? What is it the AI is saying? AI everything, I guess. Hester has a very interesting philosophy. I like how he talks about the soul being a hard drive that defrags. Oh, you're talking about me. Awesome, Hester. I thought you were saying that Hester has a really interesting theory, and I'm like, I would love to hear about it, but I don't know what that is. Hello from Ukraine. And yes, we are making the distinction. I know. It is important at this point to make the distinction between Russia and Ukraine. Absolutely. We want to respect that difference. So hello from Ukraine. I scrolled to your live, and my 3-year-old said, "That's a dad." He's not wrong. I am a dad. It may be something about it makes me happy. Maybe something about my aura right now, being a dad. I mean, that's a great comment. Shout out to your 3-year-old. That's awesome. That's amazing. PJ Uber Morgan, how are you? Glad you found us from Third Eye Drops. Let's see if I'm Proboval 5MEO. It works really even better with 5MEO for some reason. It's really short. It's really weird. Is Dasha short for Danny? Yes. I'm just gonna leave you live with that knowledge, with that information. Enjoy it. No, Dasha is Daria. But you can call me Dasha if you want. If it's what jiggles your wiggles or blows your skirt up or whatever century one-liner you want to use. I don't even know if Jiggly Wiggle was ever a thing, but it is now. It's 2025. I'm bringing it back after it was never existed. I English very good now. Huh? My wife will start repetition. Andrew Simpson is saying, "Fuck yeah, yeah! If it's not too late, then get me coffee." Your mom asked if it's too late to do the thing. I piggybacked. Like the one we have over there. Thank you. Fuck yeah, I'm excited for you and the experiment getting. Oh wait, what? I thought we moved on for this one. Okay. Coffee fits. Reinvent and invented. Now that's a T-shirt. It's way better than mine. It is adorable. I feel very accepted by the youngsters. Migo, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. The Seeker is here. Thanks for telling me Danny was live. Hi, Danny. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. CRPS Angel of Hope. I like the handle. It's really nice. Human first, baby. Human first is our campaign that denotes that we should always focus on treating each other as humans first before our political affiliations or any convictions we might have about the world. We should treat each other and everything else in the world in a humane way. Thus, human first. Thank you, GM Brutality. By the way, does that stand for Grandmaster? Because that's really dope if it is. If it does. What up, Miken? I haven't seen you in forever. How you been? Ciela is in the house. In my experience, these other beings were made of blue light, and there was a mothership monitoring. Any thoughts? Do you think we're going into the simulation willingly? These are all great questions, but they're all very tangled questions because they're multifaceted. They make a lot of assumptions, some of which we broke down on the lives before. It's kind of hard to know what your exact perception of the world. So I'll just broad stroke say there's nothing outside of the simulation. So the simulation is unfortunately the closest word to what I think it actually is. However, it is confusing because in our world, we usually use the word simulation to denote something that is mimicking something else. So it kind of gives the impression that it must be fake, not the real thing. But in our case, maybe simulacrum is a better word because it's a simulation without a base, but it is not a replica of something. What is simulated is a process that we perceive as the physical world, but what is not simulated is an outcome or agency, which means that these things naturally arise and they are open-ended, which means that just like you would imagine you would be in a regular physical universe, that's essentially the situation you're in. It's just that behind the laws of physics, you have a computational world that is much faster than this one. So there's no getting out of the simulation. I want to make it clear. There's nothing outside of it. There's nothing outside of the computational world. It is, in fact, the real world. There's no base reality. All of it, all the levels, anything you want to call Maya, all of it is real. I don't know if that squares your conundrum, but that's the situation that I'm claiming to win. Nathan, thank you so much for the likes and thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. Eric K. Swanson, document. Oh, wait. Then go thoughts. Eric's page. I mean, yeah. Eric is great. It was really pleasant to meet him and him shooting this mini doc for his channel and to help us tell our story. We're very grateful. He did a great job, and I have to say, he nailed the visuals. I was really impressed. Eric nailed the visuals. If you guys are not aware, Eric Swanson released a mini doc today. I'll share the link now. If you go to my channel now, Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts on YouTube, everybody should go and in either case subscribe, like, and follow. Not necessarily in that order, but would appreciate you guys do that. In actually he released it as a there you go. Let me share the link as a collab video. Here it is here. If you haven't watched it, it's really nicely done. And he really nailed the visuals, I have to say. Everything I told him, every visual you see in there, he kind of nailed it. Like everything I was saying. I was thoroughly impressed by his ability to do so. Nico is saying, I'm cool with human first as long as you're a Democrat. Nice. Nice. Namaste, Sheila. Just listening to your Third Eye Drops episode. Great so far. Thank you so much. the Rev. What if in 10 minutes you'll be like, boo, okay, now it's not okay. Yeah, it was a great conversation. I'm sure we'll do more. Man, really wish the Alex Gomez conversation would be more successful. I don't know why that is. You guys should watch his latest episode with Dr. Alex Gomez, because he's a great thinker, and his story is really fascinating because he had a full awakening moment and he couldn't square it with science, so he had to. And he's a physicist, you know. So it's really interesting. Let me see if we don't have any takers. Yeah, if you guys want to, thank you, Guru, for mentioning. And yeah, if you guys want to like the live, no matter what platform you're watching from, the algorithms love that. And if you want to help our Twitch channel grow, go to on Twitch now. Go to LaserX83, LaserX83, and follow from there. It will help our channel grow. Okay, let me get some of the comments. Terry's in the house. How you doing, my brother? I agree. Humans are amazing animals. Music in my fantastic studio. Imagine the connections in the web of further connections that your channel has brought together. A true note to awareness. I feel honored that that's how you feel. The very fabric of reality is fluid. Just listening to your third. Was curious, have you read much of Tom Campbell's work? I've never read My Big Toe, but I've listened to Tom speak enough to know what his claims are pretty substantially. I think he's pretty much on the money, aside from limiting our simulation to only the Earth. I have no idea why he makes this arbitrary choice. Maybe one day I'll ask him. But other than that, I think is on the money. Okay, maybe I misunderstood or misspoke. In my experience, it felt like we, the blue light beings, are going through a sort of training. Not claiming this, reality is not real. So my contention is with the words "not real." Just because something might have a more fundamental underlying reality does not make the layers, depending on how you imagine the structure on top of it or under it, any less real. All of it is real. So if you stub your toe in the middle of the night, it's not really going to help much. Then I'm going to tell you this is not real. Don't worry. There's another reality. You're in training right now. Well, guess what? Right now it hurts. That's what reality is. It's real as long as there any experiencer of any kind experiencing anything. That's reality. So in fact, I would even disagree with the whole idea of the Maya, of illusion. Like I would actually disagree with that. I know I'm the minority there, but I think it's somewhat of a backwards reverse engineer backflips that people are doing mentally to try and sound profound. That's my opinion. I think it's exactly the opposite. You are not experiencing the fact that there are, most of the time you're not experiencing directly the dissolution of the layers and seeing the deeper layers, which means that for the most part, what is real for you, what is salient for you, is actually this, right? That's where you spend most of your time. We like to repeat that. It is true that you can peel these layers and you can experience more fundamental layers. That's true. When you do experience those are real for you. Right now, it's just an idea. When you're experiencing it on psychedelics or something is pointing there, then you can say, okay, now it's part of my reality. As Eckhart Tolle once very eloquently said, it doesn't really matter if it's true. The question is it true for you? And I second that. I think that's the important part. As long as you're experiencing something as real, that is reality. So it doesn't matter how it comes about. The fact that you're having an experience right now is the thing that fully cashes out the reality of the situation. Either it's pain, either it's pleasure. That's the reality you as a conscious being experiencing now on the level of awareness that you're occupying. So I would not try and move your attention from what you're experiencing now, because that's the only gateway you have towards something more fundamental, more free. But you have to pass through that. You have to experience it fully. It seems that there's an insistence, there's this idea or an insistence to constantly insist. It was like, don't worry, this is all an illusion, it's going to go away soon. And in Christianity, that's very prominent. This is not the real thing. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not right now, I'm not talking about I'm not grappling with the truth claim of it. So like whether it's true or not, I'm saying that from a logical and philosophical perspective, as long as there's any point of consciousness experiencing anything at all, that is reality to that point of consciousness. And reality doesn't have to be suffering, by the way, even though that's what the Buddha insisted. To my mind, there's many possibilities there. We should plan the Vipassana course before you get stupid famous. You will never find time. I will find time. Actually, that's when it's going to be a little easier to find time. It's when you're building in the moment when it's the most amount of engagement that you have to put in to make the thing work. That's when it's the hardest. After that, you have some plateaus or at least if you make them. There's actually a lot of super successful entrepreneurs and people pretty well known that are doing Vipassana on a regular basis. Jack Dorsey is known to be one of them. He does Vipassana retreats regularly. Yuval Noah Harari actually does 60 days every year, if you can imagine that. So he does a 60-day silent retreat every single year, drops everything. And he still manages to write New York bestsellers left and right. So we're going to be fine, Terry, I promise. What's the main point? Becoming one with the whole, like escaping a reality, or develop our individuality in this reality to further the growth. This to new level. That's a great question. I'm going to repeat it again. Thank you, PJ Uber Morgan. What's the main, or maybe I'm supposed to read it differently, but then I apologize. What's the main point? Becoming one with the whole, like escaping our reality, or develop our individuality in this reality to further the growth, this to new level. So the first part, I would say that becoming one with the whole is not equivalent of escaping a reality. It might seem that way, but that would mean is just discovering the more concrete nature of your existence. And there's a difference there. I would say that it's not mutually exclusive. I think that the more you develop whatever you are here, you also develop your abilities to evolve there. It's like a fractal, it all happens at once. And it opens the ability, the aperture for you to pass through larger uh, possibilities of experience and larger dissolutions of the self and everything that follows from that. So I would say they're both happening at the same time. For example, through examples are really good to kind of drive the point home. So by honing a skill, a particular skill, and people who are really good at something will tell you this, in the process of trying to make something happen in this realm that is very difficult to do, like becoming a master at something or really, really good, athletes are really good, really familiar with this. In the process of trying to become the best at something, regardless of whether you become the best in the world, in that process, you learn something about life and about existence. It might not be in the same way that you would imagine a physicist learning about the world, but you're definitely learning about something fundamental of what's possible because you are a thing in existence. And there's like you enter flow more often, which is a technical thing. It's the state of being in a flow state. And these are very profound, can be very profound states. So I would say that by sharpening your tools here, you also grow there. And it's true that you can circumvent that whole process by doing something like meditation, the goal of which is just the naked approach, not you being naked, but as in stripped away from all the other, what's the word I'm looking for? Stripped away from all the other things that can stop you along the way, distractions, and you just focus on trying to achieve that, which is just the realization that the self is an illusion, and then what is being called the final goal. That you can also do, and in meditative circles, the insistence will be that, to your question, that yes, the first part, the becoming one with the whole, is the goal and should only be the goal. But I think that there's more here. I don't think this is a trap or kind of a thing to misunderstand. In other words, there is some perception in Buddhistic circles that believe that even playing the game of life and the way we're doing it, thank you, Nico, I appreciate you, brother, is actually a mistake. You actually don't even want to play that game. You want to just reject the game and do something else altogether. My intuition tells me that if something is there, it's part of the plan and it's part of how things need to unfold. So something about that process, you can discover many things that monks discover by sitting in a cave alone for decades, by working on something really difficult in the regular, what we call the regular modern world. Great question. I appreciate it. The Rav is saying, I've finished my big toe recently. Would love to hear you chat with him one day for sure. Yeah, that would be great. Jackie's saying, well, I believe that reality is real in a certain sense, but not in the way we originally thought real was or meant. Reality isn't real the way we thought it was, but it's real as in we experience it every day. Agree, and we discover new things all the time. So it will always be the case that it will be more than what you thought before. But maybe we use the word reality slightly different. When I say reality, I don't mean a subset of whatever exists. When I'm using the word reality, I mean everything that can possibly exist. That's what I mean by the word. Possibly can exist and or on the trajectory to become actual. So anything that can ever happen in any real formal sense, that's what I call reality. And if you postulate anything outside of it, then you no longer mean what I mean by the word reality. Because the second you postulate something out of it, you, by definition, now it is included in reality, in the chain of causation of everything that can possibly exist. And definitions really matter because this is where a lot of miscommunication happens. But the general thrust behind your comment, I fully agree with it. Thank you, Nico, for the roses. I appreciate it. Pain is fucking real. Oh yeah, but it can also be sensation, right, Terry? So it is a shift of perspective. PJ Uber saying, don't really see the point of becoming one with the whole again if we are incarnating in the first place. Well, the final goal is defined. Nirvana is defined as stepping out of the karmic cycle. By definition, is what you're doing if you're aiming towards the final goal. What the Buddha have attained was a state called nirvana, in which he no longer reincarnates. It's done. It's over. He's outside of the karmic cycle. He is actually outside of what reality can be. It's almost like you remerge with the proto-reality state, basically kind of the thing that gives reality its ability to be, which is just something that is truly inconceivable. Andrew is saying or asking, I'm not sure, any experiments covering various nanometer of lasers? Yeah, we did many. Yeah, we did a lot of different kinds of experiments. This is a good opportunity to say that we have launched a product, an app that you can visit. It's free. It's called veilbreak.ai. Veilbreak. Let me share it here. Veilbreak.ai, in which you can go and you can watch all the protocols that people are doing, people adding stuff there all the time. It's a full report with all the details, nanometer wavelength, like wavelengths, the exact details of the experiment, the substance, all of that stuff. And you can add your own anonymously. So that will be your address for this question. But we've done a lot of different experiments, yes. So veilbreak.ai. Thank you so much, Carmelo, for building it. And thank you so much, my partner, David Carter, for really kind of spearing the way with all the technical work with Veilbreak. And they're responsible directly for making it happen. And we are deeply, deeply grateful for them doing what they're doing. Tom Campbell is a bit against psychedelics. Yeah, people keep saying it. My intuition plus some stuff that I've heard, and I want to be super clear. I don't like to start rumors. It's not like a rumor. I did have people that I have reasons to trust told me that it is not true that he's never done that. Also, my intuition told me the same, that like it doesn't feel right to me that he never done those things. However, with full admission that I have no clue. Maybe he's absolutely truthful, and like also he looks like a really truthful person, very advanced human. I have nothing but very positive feeling coming from Tom. So it would be hard for me to believe why he would not be honest about something like this. But there's some sticking point there for me that is a little weird. It's a really weird thing for me, where like on the surface of it, there's no reason for him to not be truthful about it. He could have easily said, you know, I've done it once or twice and I saw it's actually not how you want to go. He also does, as far as I know, he does no work of explaining why. He just kind of says, don't do it. And my intuition tells me that he did do it at some point. But with a full admission that I have no idea if that's true. I don't know. So we'll see. If I ever talk to him, I'll ask him point blank. I guess that would be weird. What am I asking him? Have you been lying to us the whole time? That would be some conversation starter, right?
So,
how you doing, Casey?
I'm doing really good. A little tired. Had a good night last night. We have a little film festival going on down here in Laguna, and it's just great time. Good movies, good bands. It's been a blast. But I just want to mention something. I was watching a interview with Charles Upton yesterday, and it was about the jinn, and he said that one part he brought up that the Sufis say that that we as humans have an obligation to the absolute to maintain the terrestrial world, and that following that the fairy world, or the entity world that we all like to talk about, falling under the spell of fascination would be contrary to that obligation to being stewards to this terrestrial world. I thought that was just interesting. It reminds me of like Death by Astonishment, that kind of talk and stuff like that.
What's the name?
The name of
the person who said all this?
Charles Upton.
Charles Upton.
He is
I like it.
like beatnik to
Yeah, what is he known
physical guy.
What is he known for? It says he's a poet. Is that correct?
Yeah. He's an author, poet.
Is he like into like the occult and things like this?
No, he's like was a part of the Beat generation, like Allen Ginsberg, all those guys, and then he became like a mystic of some sort and that kind of stuff.
What is the Beat like beatniks? Like what?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, interesting. Huh.
He's a Sufi these days.
And where was this interview?
Sorry, it's muted. Thinking Aloud with Jeffrey Mishlove.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Let me write it down. Cool. All right. Yeah, I might check it out. They're like old timers, huh?
Yeah, totally. They've been around the block.
Thank you for sharing. We agree, but the question still holds. Do you think these entities are going into the simulation willingly? As far as I know, no one can force you to do anything. If you're going through something, it is more likely the case that you agreed to it at some point somewhere, even if you don't realize it. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but like, was he initiated in the Sufi order? Somebody's asking Mystic how. Do you have an answer to this?
Yeah, he's been initiated. I'm pretty almost positive he's been initiated in the Sufi order. A lot of hippies. Well, we're not a lot, but
wait, we have a great opportunity here. Somebody's saying, "Sell me Jesus." You got it, man. So now we have a golden clock with 2 cuckoo birds on top of it, and it's only $5,000. Right now, we're running a special for all the church members. It's only $2,000, and you get a set of knives that can cut through shoes. If you order in the next 30 seconds, you also get a vacuum cleaner that tells you look really nice every time you step out of the house. It's a deal like no other. Oh, and Jesus. Was that good? There you go. I bet you everybody's face right now is just like, huh? What? The important thing is I'm enjoying it. I didn't even know that there's a Sufi order. Like I thought you just basically kind of learned the Sufi philosophy. Like, I didn't realize there's.
Oh no! Yeah, there's definitely.
Got it. Well, I learned something over there. I mean, that's an unbeatable deal. Shoes.
I always like the Sufis. Like if they're traveling and you come across another fellow Sufi or somebody that understands or whatever, they call each other friends. And I like that. Oh, friends.
I like the word order. It's very like the core order. Would you like to join the core order? That sounds pretty good. I like it. Initiating order. By the way, that joke is like this is like a really old Seinfeld joke that I always steal because it's just like very easy to deliver the point. He goes like, like when you watch TV late enough, you always like encounter these things. You're like, I find myself at 2 a.m. watching these infomercials. Go like, I don't think I've ever had knives that can cut through shoes. I'm gonna get these knives and cut my shoes through. Suffering. Okay. I can make pain suffice from sitting in meditation, but do you think that could work for major pain? As I think the mind would be too loud in that situation. What do you think? Oh, I know for a fact you can. Yeah. You can make any level of pain with enough practice to just become a sensation. When I've done Vipassana for the first time, somehow when I was sitting at the Tan, which is the strong determination, And I had this feeling like somebody was literally carving a knife through my knee. That's what it felt like. And I had already enough of the sit at that point. Like it just felt like a very strong sensation. And I was just, I'm not a professional meditator. I was just doing it for the first time. It does not mean what I'm saying is it. What I'm alluding to isn't that I'm really talented at it. I'm actually not. I'm saying that even someone who's very mediocre at it can do that, which means that people who are really good at it, I have no doubt, not the slightest doubt in my mind, they can make any kind of pain go away. Which I think that's the liberation. Like, if you imagine whatever the state of affairs of existence is, no matter what you have to go through karmically, if you can bring yourself to a state where it's all the same, it's all leveled, you can just sit in hell, burn in hell, and just sit, and you're in complete peace. That's complete freedom. That's it. That's what it is. That's why it's called the liberation, I think. It's the Arnold said, I guess. Grandmaster, Game Master, and General Manager. All titles I hold. Nice. Are you a Grandmaster in chess? I mean, that's impressive. Sufi reminds me of a Dane Cook album. I think you're the first one and probably the last one, Nico. But hey. In the K-hole. Well, I'm sorry. Even though I actually like K-holes. I'm weird like that.
Me too.
There you go. See? And just like, just go in, man. Just stay there. It's all good. You're gonna snap out of it. Macklemore does Vipassana. I just found a song, the first song that came up, leaving Vipassana. Oh, no way. That's cool. It's very challenging, but as you're able to let go into the experience more, you can really drop into fascinating states that seem to be running just under our normal experiences of life. It's like normal life keeps us engaged and distracted from these base experiences our consciousness is like generating out of to some capacity. So there's a couple of points I want to make here. First one is to you, Terry, that just remember to also mention that Goenka's mother, the person who brought Vipassana to the West, his name is Goenka, and or was, he passed away in I think 2011 or something. And his mother, who was dying of cancer towards the end of her life, famously rejected any kind of medication to help her cope with the pain. And I forget how the story was told, but basically it was clear to the doctors that the kind of cancer that she had, there's no way that she wasn't in absolutely excruciating pain, like levels that usually they prescribe morphine to people, and she refused all of it, and she was always sitting in peace because she was a very advanced Vipassana practitioner. So pretty sure that, I don't think, sometimes people like to tell hyperbolic stories, but this one rings true. It also makes sense, actually. And the other point I wanted to make is that to you, the Rev, is that not sure what kind of magical experiences you're talking about that are right under the surface. That's cool. What is happening? But it's true that you can discover a lot under the surface. However, at least in Vipassana practice, and I'm pretty sure that in a lot of meditative practices, the emphasis is actually to ignore all of it. To ignore is the wrong word, but to just keep going. So like in Vipassana, there's an emphasis on don't worry about what it is. So like you will experience a lot of magical states by doing this, but every time something comes up that is absolutely blissful and amazing, let it go. Just like everything else, let it go. Let it pass you. Like you will see beings, you will maybe meet angels, you will experience all kinds of extravagant things, good and bad. The point is, do not attach. Just keep going. Just keep going. If you ever want to reach the final goal, that's according to the Buddha. If you ever want to reach the final goal, the kicker is, no matter how blissful it is, let it go. which literally means that even when you're in the highest of realms, in the highest of the heavenly realms, which the Buddhists do believe in, I think there's like 7 levels or something. So even if you're in the highest of realms of heaven and you're the highest of beings, if you want to achieve, you have not reached the final goal. So if you want to reach the final goal, the only way for you to do is to let go of all of that. You're in infinite bliss for almost forever, but not quite. You're still in the karmic cycle. So if you want to step out of the karmic cycle, which is the only way to reach the final goal, you have to let go of all that bliss fully. And that's very counterintuitive, especially to people in the West. So whenever people, this is why when people in the kind of spiritual supermarket always claim these extra powers, and they're using them as almost like a badge of honor or a badge of, you should listen to me because I can read minds, I can astral project, I can do all of these things. If they would actually be following kind of the Buddhistic traditions, all of that would still be a trap, according to the Buddha. Like all of these superpowers, they're just another thing you're attaching to, because of which you stay in the karmic cycle. So the Buddha was actually pretty radical. There was no wiggle room there. Andrew's saying, yes, I believe we are here to learn. Deep learning via experiences. 1 second. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, we believe we are here to learn. Deep learning via experience to help aid some kind of higher calling I'm not aware of yet. Interesting. Sheila Radler. It's funny because in Vipassana there's something called Shila Samadhi, which is the important things to take into account when you're in your journey to the final goal. When I started to get into my meditation, I started to get super dizzy and have to stop. Why is this? Please. Good question. You might want to just try a different meditation technique. What kind of meditation technique are you using? Meditation, as a broad stroke statement, is just the usage of your attention on some object that you place your attention on to then anchor yourself in, and then you do the work is not about that. It's about what happens as the result of you anchoring the attention in that way. In the Vipassana case, which is one form of mindfulness meditation, there are others. Vipassana is claimed to be the most kind of formal, simple, closest to what the Buddha actually taught, which is simple. It's just the technique. There's a lot less emphasis on the metaphysical and the teachings. They exist, but there's a lot of less emphasis on those. There's much more emphasis on the practice, which is what the Buddha taught. And that was actually his innovation. I'm saying this for all of this to answer your question, by the way. So if the Buddha said very little to basically, I think he only mentioned the metaphysical once. He did tell stories, but the Buddha basically said nothing about the metaphysical world, funny enough. So all of the stuff that we hear, including all the stuff I just said, they're kind of allegories that were told about the Buddha by people who then created a whole belief system around him, a religion. So these Buddhist philosophies, they're the results of other people postulating about what the Buddha meant when he said X, Y, and Z. The Buddha himself only mentioned once, if I'm not mistaken, when he was asked what it's like out there in Nirvana. And he said, basically the emphasis was, it's whatever you want it to be, but that is not the point. The point is when you will step out of, he called it the house, when you step out of the house, which is the karmic cycle, if you look back, you will understand why I told you must exit the house. You must exit the house. That's the only emphasis he ever gave. And it's relevant because if something happens to you during your meditative practice that your body is resisting too much to, It's possible that you can overcome it and just plow through, so to speak, and then it will go away. Most likely it will be the case. But if it's already too much resistance, then there's no, the point of meditation isn't to just necessarily having some kind of a big struggle, nor, by the way, is it technically designed to make you feel good. Meditation, depending on the kind of meditation, again, they're all arranged around one common project, and that is ultimately arriving at nirvana, the final goal. So now there's different forms of meditation that use different techniques to utilize attention, to place your attention on different things. In Anapana, which is a form of meditation you also do during Vipassana course, it is the technique where you place attention. It's designed to train attention to make it sharper. So basically, you just pay attention to the breath coming in and out of your nostrils. And you do it it's not a breath exercise. It's very important to emphasize. So you're not trying to breathe in a particular way. You're just noticing exactly how the breath comes and goes. And if the breath is deep, it's deep. If it's shallow, it's shallow. You're not trying to change it. You're just paying attention. Eventually, you get to a level where the point of your attention is so sharp that you can literally play between, like, placing your attention like on this part of the nostril or on this part of the nostril, and you would know the difference. That's how sharp it becomes. You can control it. At that point, you take that point of attention, you put it on top of your head, figuratively, but that's essentially what it feels like. And then you imagine it's a ring of attention that you basically scan your body with very slowly. That's all Vipassana is. It sounds very simple, but it's the Vipassana is the one meditation that openly puts an emphasis on its goal is the final goal. It's not trying to achieve something in the middle. It's designed to purify your mind fully so you let go of any attachment and basically achieve nirvana. There's other meditations like Dzogchen, for example, that is also known kind of like a very advanced meditation. It's designed to discover that arriving in the final goal through the discovery that there is no self, that the statement, the you that you feel that you are is actually not there, but it's designed to give you that experience, not in an idea form, but in an experience form. It's designed to bring you to a state where you see it as a truth. You don't think that it might be true. You see that it is true. Or there's no more you. There's just seeing of the fact that there's just experience. So I'm giving you all the spiel is that what I want to help people understand is that in the way that meditation as a practice sold in the West, there's a lot of emphasis on all these rules, when in reality, the rules are just there to help you kind of put you in a column where you can use your attention in a particular way. In other meditations, there's encouragement to on chants, for example. So the object of attention is the chant. Repetition is helpful. These are usually designed to calm your mind. They're really good at calming your mind. Either it's internally, so you say it in your mind's eye, or you verbally express the chant. Some meditations repeat the name of a saint or whatever it is, but they're all this. So I kind of see it as you want to acquire as many tools as you can and try a little bit of everything in the beginning, so you can see, first of all, which one is the easiest for you to partake in, because the second you see any amount of proficiency in any of them, it gives you confidence that now you have a handle on something. So if your mind is way too chattery and it's way too crazy and it's just frustrating and you get headaches or you get whatever, body aches, find one that actually makes you feel more calm. So maybe the chant one is a good one for you. TM, Transcendental Meditation, which they also use different forms. They use breath from different from both. That's actually they do use a particular breath exercise. It's different than Anapana. And also they do have objects of attention. So, but they're designed to calm your mind. It's really good. So maybe you want to take one of those first and practice enough where you're able to calm your mind. Then you can maybe start with Anapana. Now you're training your attention. Then you can get into Vipassana, which I would highly recommend anybody do a retreat, because it's free everywhere and you can just sign up, just allocate 10 days of your life. But what's beautiful about creating this set of tools you hold is it gives you a more holistic understanding about yourself and about what's possible. So if years down the line you become a more advanced meditator, but still sometimes it's an ebb and like it goes up and down. All of a sudden something happens, don't know, it's really hard for you. It happens to people. They've been training for 10 years. all of a sudden for like months they just can't meditate. This happens. Okay, well, if you have a large set of tools, you can now go to this one meditation that actually calms your mind. And then when it does, now you go to the other technique that actually helps you to, again, sharpen your attention and then purify your mind with Vipassana. And there's many, 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 many tools. So if one doesn't work for you, just try another one. And I could have just told you this and let it be at that. But I think understanding that it's not so much about some kind of magical rituals. The real thing that does the work in all meditations is how you use your attention and how you travel with your attention and what it does to you as a being in the process. That's what it's about. And many people would have all kinds of philosophies and they would tell you all kinds of things, but ultimately, if you look at all of them, they're all designed around that. So if you have that in mind, you understand that if you go to Waking Up app and you try all kinds of techniques, you go to this other thing, try and see what makes you enter the space easier, and then from there you can kind of pick it up and it goes easier. And you should feel the results. If all you do is just do that when you sit in a chair, okay, but if it doesn't give you results in your day-to-day, if you don't feel differently, if you don't feel better, more balanced, then objectively that meditation is not working for you. The point of it isn't to be able to sit in a chair quietly. That's not the point of it. The point of it is that it needs to somehow become integrated part of how you live your life. I hope this helps. By the way, just another one small comment on that, Sheila. Very often, in Vipassana, what they talk about is the big enemies, and one of them is actually exhaustion and then confusion. So like those are almost like enemies that come in and they try to prevent you from getting into the thing, and you can create a separation between you and the dizziness. That's an interesting practice you can also partake. Wait. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I remember correctly. So just so you know that your name, or I know that your name is probably read differently, but Sheila in Vipassana is the ethical journey of a meditator. Thank you, GM Brutality. Appreciate you. The concept of a goal feels like an attachment to an outcome. And in some meditations, like Dzogchen, for example, it is stated very clearly that they do not believe you can achieve anything unless you do have a goal. That's what the belief is. That's why you aim. And by the way, there's conversation involved. So there's like the master sits in front of you and kind of leads you through a conversation into this realization that there's no self, that the self you have is not there. In more clean Buddhistic traditions, the goal, you have to use a word to proclaim something, but it's not meant as in attached to the goal. In the moment when you're doing the practice, your only attempt is to actually just relinquish any attachment to anything. You just hover in this presence, and that's what you're trying to do through that attention scanning. So, but the second a thought intervenes, it's very shifty, and you are now in a state of being that includes a thought process that tells you that you're doing it for that reason. Hold on. If you now, your state of being includes a thought process that tells you that you are doing it for that reason, now you're snapped out of the meditative state. So you're right. But while you're meditating, while you're talking about it is one thing. While you're meditating, the point is to relinquish any attachment to anything whatsoever. I got a Zen temple in my location. I go to for silent meditation. I've done a week of Zen meditation. It was great and challenging. Yeah, and I don't know how they do it where you live, Guru, but usually Zen meditation is they're known for their much more militant attitude. So it's much more kind of like student teacher. It's very strict. There's even some sects, I don't know if they still do today, but definitely there's a big portion of Zen temples that there's a little bit of a like a reminder with a stick. Like if you're not in line and the master walks around the students, you can get a little hit with a stick, with a bamboo stick on the bottom of your foot, or and it can increase. So like from what I know, there's also like it got to pretty like sometimes on the head. So there's a lot more of this kind of like very militant attitude. That's why Shaolin monks, by the way, they're Zen Buddhists. I hope I'm not confusing my Buddhist, but I'm pretty sure it's correct. So funny enough, we use Zen as like calm down, but Zen is actually the most do not mess with us. Very strict. I meant feeling that we are part of one with using it in informed development, our individuality. I know I'm way back in the comments, just so you guys know, but I'm trying to respect all of them. And again, now that we have a little bit more people, if you do guys want to help our, if you guys do want to help our Twitch channel grow, there you go, we got through it. Go to Twitch now and find us at LaserX83. LaserX83.
Annie, I gotta jump off, go to dinner. I'll talk to you later.
Enjoy dinner, brother. Much love.
Thank you. Peace.
If we just have to get into Nirvana, why do all of the simulations exist then? I'm like making any claims to that kind of knowledge. From my perception of everything that's going on, is that they exist for some multiple reasons. One of them being trying to actually figure out why does everything exist. The other one is trying to see if we can get to a state of just letting go of trying to answer the question. That's my impression of what's going on. These two games are played at the same time. And through our growth and interaction with the reality, we unpack potential of the simulation, exploring it, because I do not really understand the point of incarnating into the world. We just have to get into Nirvana. Oh, okay, now I understand. The reincarnation is basically attachment. The Rev saying I had the exact same experience with pain and Vipassana. Almost had to go home from the pain, but the teachers said to just sit through the strong determination, and it dissolves into just sensation. There you have it. It hurts sitting zazen. Yep. Also in the knee, amazing. Thank you for sharing. Can't even handle the eyelash in my eyeball. Nice. I have a condition known as the most painful disease to humans, so I am very interested in explore this. What is that? Are you talking about cluster headaches? Just I don't know if it's that, but if it is that, you should reach out to QRI, Qualia Research Institute. Andres Gomez is actually going to come on the podcast this upcoming week. But they discovered that the use of the molecule, the spirit molecule, can actually help with those. And they're actually looking into potentially creating some analogs that doesn't have the psychedelic experience, but actually help with cluster headaches. It's the only thing to show some potential. I don't know if it's that, but if it is that, if anybody here is experiencing this, you should reach out to QRI, Qualia Research Institute, about this. There's no cure, and most people with my condition are hooked on opioids. I refuse to. I'm trying to find. Otherwise, I'm Terry's friend. Oh, okay. Well, first of all, pleasure to meet you. I don't know what the condition is, but maybe we can talk about it. What up, Bernard? How you doing, brother? Much love, my brother. Sending love back to Munich. This absolutely to the letting experience go in Vipassana, and that's also teaching to take into regular life. Welcome everybody here. Start again. Start again. Can't even do it. Take rest. Take rest. Terry, always warms my heart to know that it made so much difference for you. Have I ever listened to Rupert Spira at all? No, I don't know who that is. That's it. Rupert Spira. Oh, I know his face. I'm so terrible with names. Yeah, I heard him speak before. Non-dual teacher, yeah. Great energy. Thank you, Derek. I do not believe we just simply exist for the sake of existing. To be honest, I think there is some type of battle or an opposing force awaiting after death. I'm not good at explaining myself with these matters. No, I think I understand. And again, I'm very agnostic when it comes to this stuff. Hindu chant. There you go. Yeah, there might be something happening there. I would recommend TM because it's really good at really calming your mind. Did I see Brian Johnson? Yeah, 5 grams. Awesome. He's great. Oh yeah, I should send him the laser. That'd be great. Turn those all the way down. CRPs. Okay, let me see. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not an expert. But what for sure is that Vipassana can help. Oh man, that looks terrible. Man, I'm sorry you're experiencing this. Ay, ay, ay. If I hear of any solution, I know the Vipassana can help if you practice, but if I hear of any solution that might be faster, I'll definitely make sure that Terry knows and he lets you know. What up, Piotrek? Thank you so much for joining from Twitch. Let me actually put it on my calendar to reach out. Brian Johnson. There you go. Thanks for the reminder. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go through the. Oh, okay. We're here. Ever thought about when entities showed you the before render part? That is what actually happens. Preloading buffer compare. That's what I think. Animals timing. Yeah. Again, it's all levels, right? I think that's what the code is actually. Contact with someone who's involved research with using ketamine for. Oh, that might be a solution. There you go. You might want to look into this. Oh, New Zealand. Okay, listen. So And is your condition preclude you from flying? You guys don't have ketamine treatments out there? Huh. Yeah, transcendental meditation. That's what TM is. 1 second. Be right back. Okay. Okay, so wait, she cured Ryan's cancer. Who? What are we talking about? Other thing in my phone without it stopping playing. Oh, cool. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, if you guys want to jump on Twitch and help the channel grow, it's LaserX83 on Twitch. Okay, a couple of announcements that I wanted to make, and I'm going to keep making them until we kind of reach that goal. It's important for me to mention. So this, what I'm sharing now on YouTube, let me just mention a couple of my, where you can follow me. If you want to follow me across all the platforms, it would be Danny Goler, just DANNYGOLER, and that's on TikTok and Instagram. If you swap them, Goler Danny, that will be on X. LaserX83, that's Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. I highly encourage you follow, subscribe, and like on YouTube because that's where the majority of the content lives, and also the longer format. And there's a lot of conversations and everything else in there. Also, you can join the membership program on YouTube where you get access to my weekly lives for members only, which is we dive much deeper into topics, and it's a lot of fun. You get early access to all my content. And if you sign up from the second tier and up, make sure you email me on the email link listed there, and I'll email you an invite for a monthly Zoom call. Just make sure you email me as well. So if you guys, everybody goes to YouTube because I'm going to put the link on YouTube. This link, this GoFundMe link, is not a scam. This is a real link. It's a good friend of mine, Manny. His second child, was just born a week and a half ago, something like that. Baby James. He was born with a rare condition that basically made his brain swell, and it pressed against all the parts of the brain against the skull, which is very dangerous. He had to put a shaft through the brain and drain the central cavity, so it goes back. And with this condition, the issue is that now, for the next 5 years, they're going to be expecting a lot of different surgeries for him just to keep him, balanced. And also, there's a lot of therapy involved: physical therapy, speech therapy, all kinds of things. Even with insurance, they're going to be expecting very large sums of money that they're going to have to pay for these surgeries. So just if you want to donate your money towards something really good to help a child grow healthy, this is a real person. I know him very well. Maddie is an incredible musician. And this GoFundMe link that I just shared on YouTube, you guys can go and donate. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $10, $100, whatever. If you have enough money to go buy a cup of coffee, this will be a great use of your money because you're actually helping a child grow. By the way, he went through the first surgery; it was a success. But now, now monitoring and going through all the other surgeries. He also happens to be a small business owner, and he has an incredible hot sauce that he makes himself, and now he finally found like a place to make it more, bigger quantity. But I've seen him grow the peppers, cook the thing. So if you guys want to support his business that way, it also helps his family. I'm gonna put the link right here. It's called Maddie'sHotSauce.com. I'm not just telling you this because I'm his friend and because of everything I just said. I would not be telling you this unless I would think so. It is the best hot sauce I've ever had, by far. I can't wait for him to become mainstream. Like it will, because it's amazing. So if you want to support that way and get a really incredible hot sauce, order that. That's the second link that I put right there. Let me see if I can actually share it here as well. Well, so the GoFundMe page, even though on TikTok I can't really do hyperlinks, but let's see if it allows me to do this. I think it does. I never recall if it allows me to share. So this is the GoFundMe page if you guys want to just directly donate. And this is the hot sauce. And I actually highly recommend the hot sauce. Comment. Boom. Boom. You're not going to be disappointed from the hot sauce. It's amazing. It's based in Texas, but I don't know if he ships across the seas, but maybe it does. You can double check there. But in any case, if you do have a few extra bucks, go donate. It's for a great cause. And Maddie is an incredible guy. He's also an incredible musician. I've known him for years. A really, really wonderful and positive person. Okay, that being said, you can also check out our website, codeofreality.com, where you have the lasers protocols and all of that. You can get the merch from YouTube directly, where we have the Code of Reality core designs that are really cool, and also the Human First campaign design, which denotes the attitude we want to give each other, which before any political affiliation or conviction about the world, we treat each other as humans first. Human first. Not just humans, of course. Everything in the world. So you can do that to support the channel. You can check out my new channel on Spotify called 0 to 1 with Danny Goller, from Earthbound Minds to Cosmic Citizens. 0 to 1 with Danny Goller on Spotify. This show focuses on the future of humanity and how we get there and what that means about the kind of work we have to do with ourselves, and also how do we connect it to more fun and amazing technologies. So it's on Spotify. You can check out veilbreak.ai, veilbreak.ai, well, veilbreak, one word, so veilbreak.ai. If you want to go check out the protocols that has to do with the lasers, and you can leave your own anonymously. There you go. I'm going to leave it here right there. What else? If you still want to donate to the film, we're working on the documentary. It's going to be ready by the end of the year, or closer, maybe at the beginning of next year. It's called The Discovery. You can follow the link under this live right now in the description, or you can just search for The Discovery on my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. And in the description of that trailer, you have the GoFundMe page for the movie. Any donation we take, because working on a movie is very difficult. The director and the editor, Aaron Vanden, is a master of his craft. You guys are going to love this film. It's incredible. It truly is. It just blows me away every time I see sections of it. And also a huge shout out to Chris Paris, who's also our producer, and he's also he's also editing the film with Aaron. So shout out to Chris, and shout out to Yoswa Fisher, who's our incredible cinematographer. So thank you so much, everybody working on it. If you donate over $1,000 to the film, I know it's a lot, but if that's a capability you have, you will automatically be added to the list of people that will all watch the movie together for the first time ever as a world premiere with Q&A and everything. I think it will be a great event. But if not, don't worry. Of course, it's not something everybody can afford. So we'll definitely make sure that everybody sees the film. Working on distribution now. Am I forgetting something? Of course, come join our Discord community. Like-minded people who are talking about these ideas all the time. You can find the link to our Discord community in the link tree in the description on my TikTok and also on YouTube, the third link from the top. Or just search for Code of Reality or Core, C-O-R, on Discord. You'll find our community. Come join. And thank you so much for joining Twitch, LaserX83. Am I forgetting something? There's always so many things. I think I said it all for tonight. I appreciate our first of all, I want to acknowledge David Carter, my partner in Code of Reality. Without him, this would be very, very difficult to do. And all the beautiful people that are coming to do this work with us. Want to acknowledge our incredible moderator, Guru, on YouTube and Discord. Brother, you're the man. Always on top of it. Really appreciate you. And also Chris was not with us currently, but is also our moderator. So thank you, Chris. And I want to acknowledge the audience. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a new audience member, old audience member, without you, the channel is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. So thank you so much for being here, for asking questions, for engaging, for debating. We don't always agree, but that's the beautiful thing about it. And this channel encourages this respectful conversation, human first. So thank you so much for you guys, for being who you are and making this community so pleasant to be a part of. So that being said, I appreciate you all. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Peace and love, everyone. Ciao. Have a good night, guys.